Hey there, welcome to day 15 of our 10th All About You free Get Up and Go challenge, free 30-day challenge to help us install in our subconscious a process called the SOAP framework to make change and challenges and setbacks and obstacles and failures, dealing with them as easy as breathing. Automatically, we deal with the vast majority of changes and challenges that come our way because we've installed this process in our subconscious. And then we can also take this same process and bring it into our conscious and think and go through each of the steps in a cognizant way and in a purposeful way, like we are right now. We just finished going through the SOAP framework for the first time with respect to our finances, right? Now we are going to go through this SOAP framework with respect to our relationships. I think I might have mentioned that health, wealth, and relationships, physical well-being, and our health and our finances tend to be in the top 3 of almost everybody on the planet. But almost every time I do a survey or work with people, at least one of those comes up in the top 3 for just about everyone. So we talked about our finances. We went through the SOAP framework using different tools each day for the S, the O, the A, the P. We're going to do the same thing with our relationships. We're going to do the same thing, but using different tools for our physicalness, our beingness, our physical bodies, right? And then we'll go through the entire SOAP framework for each of the other 6 areas and aspects of our life. Remember, we got physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationship, contribution, communication, and confidence, just because I added those 2 this year. And you can create whatever categories work for you. These are ones that I've been using for 40 plus years. So I just stick with them with the addition of confidence and communication this last April. And I thought, if I'm going to add it to my life and work on those areas, why not add it to my goals, my objectives, my challenges, since I'm doing them anyway? It's because it helps me to guarantee that I'm making progress in each of those areas and aspects of my life every time I do a challenge, right? I'm doing it every day with my single daily actions, but I also am getting a little boost in each of these areas every other month when I do one of these challenges. So 10 times in the last 2 years. It's more than most people get in their entire lifetime, or more than they focus on that. So today, relationship story. The S stands for story or situation. We talked about that. We used the journalistic tool last time when we were talking about our finances. This time, we're going to use a tool that I have used since I was in high school, for sure. It's called the imaginary friend tool. And I had an imaginary friend because it kept my sisters out of my bedroom when I was young and a teenager. And come to find out, at my dad's funeral, my dad died just, 7 years ago this upcoming Tuesday. And I found out, and I don't know why I didn't know this, but at his funeral, I found out that he had an imaginary friend when he was a child named Albertson Roberts. I don't know where it came from, but he had an imaginary friend too. So I thought it was interesting. And then I thought about, well, why had I created my imaginary friend? I created my imaginary friend to keep my sisters out of my bedroom, but in addition to that, to have an imaginary person, which is really me talking to myself, to bounce ideas off of, to bounce, the teenage angst and things off of. And I guess I retired my imaginary friend until I started doing this challenge again. And then I realized, well, what is a great tool that I've used in the past to really work on ideas, bounce ideas, get things out of me that are hard to get out of? And not all of us have a person that we're going to call up and tell our deepest, darkest, most intimate secrets and thoughts and feelings and beliefs to, right? So having an imaginary friend or using the imaginary friend tool allows us to do that. So relationships, I will admit it right here and right now, relationships are one of the areas that I don't really talk to a lot of other people about, right? I've got a bevy of sisters that I grew up with, so they were always my closest friends and confidants. But I also didn't tell my sisters everything, right? We don't tell anybody, we don't even tell ourselves everything, much less any other live human being that we are afraid will judge us or critique us or give us input or solve our problems for us. When sometimes we don't want our problem solved for us, we just want to get the information out so that we can see it from a different perspective and then decide what's right for us to do. So our tool today is the imaginary friend tool. And all we do for this is we ask ourselves and we have a conversation with our imaginary friend. Now, if you don't have an imaginary friend, This is cool because you get to make one up. You get to make up the perfect person that you would want to talk to. I don't know. I guess in high school, mine was a sea captain who lived in my closet and kept my sisters out of stealing my clothes. So an imaginary friend, what we're going to do is we're going to remember we need to find out and get really clear on what our current story is. Then we want to get clear on what is it that we want our story to be? What relationship do we want? What do we want what is our current situation? What do we want our future situation to be? Now, just like with finances and every other area and aspect of our life, there isn't just one relationship. If there is, we're in trouble, right? If we only have one relationship in our life, I think we're in trouble because that's putting so much pressure on another person to be everything for us. Really not humanly possible, except for ourselves. Now, you could do this with your relationship with yourself. I've done that. You could do with your significant other, your partner. You could do it with your business partner or affiliates or people that you want to be in business with. You could do it with your children. You could do it. You could go through the framework with your grandchildren, brothers, sisters, in-laws, friends, acquaintances. I put social media. You can do it with customers or clients. You can do it with, I did enemies, bullies, and haters and competition in August of this year. I also did, you can do it with your parents or grandparents. I did my mom in October, the last challenge. And then, I can't read my own writing. Oh, aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. I had friends. And then competition, personal, professional, business, etc. So I made a whole list of different type of relationships I could look at. And while I was making the list, I decided that I'm going to use the imaginary friend exercise and do this homework on my customers, my clients, because I think I've done it, but I don't remember if I have or not. So that means it's been since at least last year. So it's time to do it again. Now, when I do the imaginary friend exercise, I like to discuss the past, the present, and the future. So I get at the current with the present, and the future is my desired state. But I also like to go back and look at the past, because with relationships, there's always a whole lot of entanglements. So I will do a past, present, and future with respect to, and here's just my little form in my workbook so that I can do it. I'll just brainstorm, well, what has my past relationship with clients or customers been like? It's been pretty professional. I kept business and my professional life pretty separate in the past. Presently, I am loosening that up and being much more myself. And in the future, I would like my customers and clients to be partners and friends and lifelong customers, right? So I will detail this out and brainstorm what is my current situation, or not brainstorm, just talk to my imaginary friend about what has the past been like, what is our current situation like with respect to customers and clients, and then what do I want my future customer and client relationships to be like. And I will share as my action item today, as you will, how did this exercise feel? Have you ever talked to an imaginary person or imaginary friend? You can talk to yourself in the mirror if that's easier. You can be your own imaginary friend, or it's really fun to create one and have one of your own. Somebody that is your own best friend and ally, your own cheerleader, that supports you and then calls you out on your stuff. You can have that person be however or whatever you want them to be. And then what relationship are you working on? Just share in the comments below, what relationship are you working on? I hadn't decided, but now I guess it's customers and clients. So that's the one I'm going to be doing through the rest of the SOAP framework. So I'm going to identify that gap today, right? What is my current situation with clients and customers? What do I want my desired situation or story to be? That is our assignment for today. Any questions, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.